Now starting Florida Conference Innovus Innovation Center, a speaker presentation by Robert Henley, a doctoral candidate, innovation director, K through 20 innovation evangelist, and STEM+C educator.
What revolution are we in? I know you guys know this. Anybody know what industrial revolution? So there was a second, there was a third, and we are now in the fourth industrial revolution. That's powered by AI, biotechnology, 3D printing, things of that nature. But our school systems were designed for the second industrial revolution, which was learning how to operate machines. It grew out of an agrarian society where you were farmers. That's what we were trained for. So our system is still designed in that mode, and we've gone through the third and now the fourth, and we're still in that second industrial revolution mode. They've tried to change it, they've tried to reform it, but my job as the innovation director for my school system is to reimagine education based on innovation. And so I'm going to share with you some of the things that we're doing in that space. So I'm going to show you a video here to share with you the kind of students that we are preparing for the workforce. So this is a news report on 3 of my students from West Palm Beach. I started working with them in the 5th grade, teaching them innovation, the framework for innovation. And we use Scrum, we use design thinking, we use the Lean Startup method. And I taught them the Arduino, which is a microcontroller for prototyping, and I taught them how to do that in the 5th grade. And so we provide the kids with multi-year pathways. So they're learning how to do something over a multi-year setting. Innovation doesn't happen in 9 weeks, right? Or a semester. But we provide the kids with that. And so what they're talking about here is they had a kindergarten teacher that died of a heart attack at the school. And since they were in my innovation program in the 5th grade, learning how to identify problems and solve problems using these 4th industrial technologies, they decided to make a heart monitor so that that would never happen to a person again. And so you see they prototyped it, that's the teacher that they did. So they did it over a series of 5th grade, 6th grade, and 7th grade, and then they competed in my Innovation X competition for middle and high school students to kind of showcase their inventions, and they won 1st place. But they had to learn how to code in C# and wire that stuff and make that and prototype it. And now they're in the 8th grade, and I'm going to continue to work with them through our Innovation Scholar program because they've learned the competencies of innovation, and they were able to do that. And so in a nutshell, that's what the program's about, providing our kids in school multi-year pathways to personalize their own learning process. And we're developing right now, one of my sons is developing an AI program that the kids will be able to put in what they want to learn, and it will build out their learning pathway, their course for them. So kids are no longer dependent upon the teacher for their learning. Have you tried to learn something from YouTube? It's kind of disconnected, right? And you got to search, and it's piecemealing, right? But of course with AI, you can put in there what you want to learn, and it can build that out for you. And that's what we're working on in our space. So just want to show you, here are some of my former students and working with external clients. So these are external clients that have hired my students in high school to make products for them. So here we have Loma Linda University, which is a medical school in Loma Linda, California. We have a guy from Nigeria. We have a robotics person, a physical therapy company. We have a pharmaceutical company that had hired my kids to make a VR environment for them to educate people on the lung system and how that works. A plumber, this guy up here operates a robotic surgery company. He trains the physicians on how to use the Da Vinci robot, and so our kids make something for them. So those are some of the companies that has hired them, and here are some of the products that they've made. So these are high school kids, middle to high school kids, making real world solutions to solve real world problems in school. This one up here is an N95 mask that they designed in Fusion 360, 3D printed it. We took it to Advent Health Daytona and actually passed the qualitative fit test to be used in the hospital. That was during COVID. So here's another video here. So I started this journey with my son when he was in the 4th grade about 18 years ago. I got hired by my organization in 2017 to actually do this for the school system. And because of the success of the program, we took a Walgreens in Altamont, an abandoned Walgreens, and we have turned it into our innovation lab. So that is what it looks like today. So kids have a place to come after school, or homeschool kids can come to learn how to do these technologies. And so the space that we work in is called shadow education. That's complementing or supplementing the actual education that they're not getting in our school system. And some of the things that you'll see, I teach physical computing. This is our Innovation X competition where the kids kind of showcase what they've made, their inventions. This young man has an invention. His father's a plumber. He learned CAD with me. He was with me for 2 years. His dad was like, man, you're really good at that. Can you make a solution for my business? And he actually did that. So the kids get to do this over, again, multi-year setting, but they learn what resilience is and they learn what failure is so that they can continue to be successful. So this is a course I teach with the BCI headset. My daughter's in the front row. She actually designed that as her multi-year pathway, and she's upset that I'm calling her out right now. But she designed that pathway, and so kids get to pursue their passions. And again, that pathway that she designed, she did the research, and because it was so successful, I still teach it today. And that was how many years ago? 6, 7 years ago. Yeah, so we want to be successful for our kids. All right. So the areas that we cover are STEM+C Research, so the kids actually get to do authentic STEM research. And we've added the C to that because the C, according to the National Science Foundation, is computing, because when we talk about technology in our schools, we teach how to use Word. That's technology to them. But in our program, we actually teach them how to make machine learning models. They learn how to use Google's Colab and TensorFlow and things of that nature. The BCI headset, I was telling you about the BCI device. So in that video that I just showed you, one of the young ladies had the headset on, and she trained her brain to move a cube in 3D space just by thinking. And that's a pathway that my daughter taught. So that's another course that they learn how to do. And this is in partnership with our medical university in California, our sister organization. And then physical computing. We combine the Arduino devices with Unity. So we're making these physical devices that connect with the computer. And this young man here was studying how to address phantom limb syndrome. So that was his project, and so he created a Arduino-based device with EMG so that he would flex his leg. And in that video you saw, he made a simple leg and it flexed up as he was flexing that muscle. And here also the kids were making a glove that could make a hand move in Unity. And that hand they designed in Fusion 360 and imported it into Fusion 360 there. We also partner with Loma Linda University. Our kids make stroke devices for rehab purposes. That's in that fundamentals course. So they're making a real stroke device to address Pusher syndrome in partnership with our universities, Advent Health and Loma Linda. And I have an MOU where the kids will be able to actually take their devices and test them out in a real clinic, Advent Health's clinic there. This is one of my favorite courses that I teach, is biomechatronics, and that robotic hand I was telling you about. So if you look up here, that's a demonstration of that hand working. So being that it's competency-based, these courses are competency-based, not seat time, competency-based, I can teach multiple subjects within that one course. So they can get a biology credit because they have to learn about the skeletal system, the muscular system, how the muscles work, and of course computer science and engineering. They come to me not knowing how to do CAD, and in the semester they're able to do that. So this kid designed that hand from scratch using Fusion 360, which is an industry standard software, not Tinkercad. You guys know what Tinkercad is? Yeah, we use the real stuff. And you see here they sketch out the hand, and so that's what they're able to do in that course. And then I teach physical therapy, rehab, game development. So kids come to me, they want to play video games. I say, I'm not going to teach you how to play a video game. We're going to make a video game, or how to make just a video game. We're going to make a video game that has medical implications. Again, Advent Health, this is the 5th largest health system in the US. They're our partner, our sister organization. And so our kids are learning how to make VR or game-based physical therapy rehab applications, because that's a booming industry. That's a 4th industrial revolution process. And so the kids are learning how to do that using Unity. And I talked about that already. And then again, the AI, machine learning. So every summer I take students who are in my Innovation Scholar program out to Loma Linda University. They spend a week working with research scientists, and this summer we did AI in healthcare. Again, that's Google's Colab, Python. This is the Arduino BLE device, so they learn how to embed TinyML onto that for edge computing. And they also learn how to use Scratch to make machine learning algorithms to play Scratch. And this one here, we had a young lady that actually made a machine learning algorithm with Scratch so that a kid who had ALS, who lost the ability to communicate well, could actually just make noises and train the machine on her version of up, down, left, and right, and play the video game even though she can't communicate well. And so those are some of the things. We also trained a model to be able to distinguish between a healthy lung and a diseased lung using Kaggle. You guys familiar with Kaggle, all the data sets on there? So the kids are learning how to use that. And then here are some of the companies that we've actually started in the program. I wish I could tell you what those things are doing, but they made me sign a non-disclosure agreement. And that's my youngest son, and I talk a lot, and so that's a good way for him to shut his dad up, to keep me talking about his project to other people. And that's our center there again, and we do field trips, we do camps, so kids actually learn 4th industrial revolution technologies in the process. So those are our partners, and that's my son. My son was labeled with ADD in the 2nd grade, and so I ended up creating, here it is. So I ended up creating this program to make sure I could secure his future. The teacher said, you know, he was a class clown, he would roam around the classroom, and being a young black man in America, I was afraid that he would be marginalized and fall through the cracks. And so I found out what his passions were, robotics. I found out what his multiple intelligence factor. Because of this program, a freshman in college, he went to Oak University, showed her his invention. She was so impressed with him, she said, if you come to Oakwood, I would give you your own research lab. So that's him as a freshman in his own research lab in college. Okay, that's my youngest son. Thank you for the time.
Want to check out more from the AWE Nite Orlando Immersive Intelligence Lab? Watch more talks and presentations from our incredible XR plus AI innovators. Thanks for watching, and please leave a like.
Nite Orlando.